I'm Ayobami Adebayo, and I'm the author of Stay With Me. Stay With Me is a novel about a couple whose marriage is falling apart. So we watch them from both perspectives, from the husband and the wife's perspectives, and we see as the marriage sort of unravels and we discover all sort of secrets that they've both been keeping from each other. One of the things I found interesting when I was working on Stay With Me is that I felt that many times when we look back, it's easier to see things perfectly. And it's a different perspective when you're in the moment. And there are things that you see in the moment that you choose to ignore, that when you look back on it, you realize, of course I knew. So it was interesting to explore that dynamic in the novel, to have a couple who had lived out all these years of their lives and to see them in the present time in 2008 and then back to the 1980s and how they interact in both periods of time and how everything unravels and how they remember and how they both remembered very differently. I mean, I think that when you're writing fiction, at least for me, one of the interesting things that's worth thinking about the questions about motivation. Why do people do what they do? And I feel like love is such a great and fascinating topic and a wonderful motivation and a very deep-seated one. So I feel like family and marriage and what it means to be in a family, what loyalty means. Those are questions that I'm very interested in thinking about. And it was useful to explore all of that while writing Stay With Me. So, I mean, in Stay With Me, you have Yejide and Hake, who are a young couple who have defined a certain way that they want to live. They've said to themselves, we're not going to be involved in polygamy, we're going to both have careers and live our lives a certain way. But that's all well and good. But by the time 4 years have passed and they don't have any children, they have to come to terms with the fact that they also exist within a larger family, within a larger community that's also invested in their marriage and has an opinion about what they should do next. So that even something like polygamy that they had promised themselves, each other rather, at the beginning of their relationship that they would never become involved with, it becomes an option by the time all the pressure that they face from the larger community that they belong to intensifies. So I was interested in the 1980s, in 1980s Nigeria for several reasons. But one of the things that I felt was useful in terms of thinking about this book is that I think that there's a parallel in terms of the relationship between the couple, between Yejide and Aki, and the relationship that evolves between the Nigerian populace and the Nigerian government over the course of those years. And I also wanted to look at how even when really, really massive things are happening all around you, really important things that you probably should pay attention to and get involved with in some way, your own life can sort of be so dominant that it's difficult for you to really get involved in any way. And your own story in many ways it's the big story, no matter what is going on politically. And I feel like it's important to see that there's always a connection between the political and the personal. And no matter what's going on in your life, it's also useful to think about what's going on for everybody else. The sickle cell strand in the book, so to say, had been a part of this book right from the beginning. I got the very first idea that would become this book after a friend of mine passed on after battling with sickle cell disease all over her life. So it was sort of at the heart of the book. I wanted to look at what it meant, particularly for the mother to care for a child who was sick from birth, and to confront the possibility of losing that child over and over and over again. And I wanted to look at what that does to a person and how people survive situations like that and somehow find the courage to go on. I mean, I wasn't always clear about what the end would be like, but I had a sense of what I wanted it to be. I had a sense of the fact that I wanted resilience to sort of win out at the end. I wanted strength to come out at the end. I wanted the lead character, Yejide, I wanted to feel that she was sort of on top of situations, and I wanted to have a sense that she had won in some way by the time the novel had come to an end.